Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start here. And at the beginning, we always have to make sure that we realize and pay attention to what is given and what they're asking for. And in this particular question, they give us that the machine rotates at a rate of 300 RPM, and the diameter of the wheel is 80 centimeters. And what they're asking for is the angular speed in radians per second and the linear speed in centimeters per second. So we always have to make sure that we pay close attention to the units they want our answer in. Otherwise, on a test or a quiz, we'll get the question wrong. So we're going to go ahead and start with 300 revs per minute, or rotations per minute. Means the same thing. And make sure you always write to the side the unit that you're working with. So we have minute, revs per minute. And then it wants it in seconds, so we have to cancel out, and always cancel out by cross multiplying. So we're going to put 1 minute, min, I'm going to simplify here, just put min instead of minute, it means the same thing. And underneath it, 1 minute equals 60 seconds. We're going to cancel out the minutes, and there we have our unit of seconds, and we want to keep this. So I'm going to go ahead and write like a little squiggly around it, and we want to make sure we keep that. And then we're going to go around here and start the rest of the problem, because I have a little small screen. And it wants us to convert revs into radians, and what we do that, we always have to keep in our memory that 2 pi radians over 1 revolution, because on the unit circle you go around once, which is 2 pi radians. 1 revolution is 2 pi radians. And since these cross multiply, we now have it in our correct units, and since it's asking in radians per second, which means we've kept it in radians, so we're going to go ahead and Google this. And always in angular problems, unless it tells you otherwise, you make sure you keep it in units of pi. So once you've multiplied this all out, and you make sure you multiply the top by the top and the bottom by the bottom, and then you can divide. So in this case, we'd multiply 300 times 1 times 2 pi, and then we would divide whatever we get divided by 60, and your answer would end up becoming 10 pi per second, and per always means divide. So that's the end of this problem in terms of the angular speed, and next we're going to go ahead and try to solve the linear speed. Alright, we're on to the second part of the problem, solving for linear speed, and as I said previously, we must pay close attention to the information that we're given and what they're asking for. And in this case, they're asking for centimeters per second, not radians per second, which means we go ahead and solve all the way through and just multiply pi together. Since it is linear speed, there's no reason to have pi, unless of course they tell you on the question, make sure you include in units of pi. Otherwise, in linear speed, you just assume that you just multiply pi throughout, and it'll most likely be a decimal. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and get started here. Same thing as last time, 300 revs, or rotations, same thing, per minute. I'm shorthanding everything here, so we don't have to write everything out real big. And then after that, you were going to go ahead and convert minutes into seconds, because it wants it in centimeters per second. So 1 minute is 60 seconds. So you go ahead and cancel out minute, and then you're going to multiply this. Everything is multiplication to each other. And since you've already converted minutes into seconds, you want to now go ahead and do 2 pi radians over 1 revolution, and you do that because on the unit circle, 1 revolution or 1 rotation around the whole unit circle is 2 pi radians, so you cancel out the revolutions, and then afterwards you are left with your diameter, and you don't use the diameter in this problem. You're essentially converting to find the circumference of the circle by putting 40 centimeters, which is the radius of the rotation of the wheel. Just the wheel, is the 40 centimeters is the radius of the wheel, and you do that over 1 radian. You cancel out radians, and then when you multiply that out all through, you get 1,256.64, or if you round up, 1,257 centimeters per second. And there you go, we've solved for linear speed and we've solved for angular speed.